Welcome everyone and welcome Sukhman Gosal. We are today here to discuss yoga and binaural beats, a blend of movement, sound, and the nervous system with the yoga, music, and binaural beats, which are transforming the way you can relax, the way you can chill out after a tough day at work. You have probably seen binaural beats pop up in the playlists or in the meditation apps, or maybe you have even practiced yoga with music playing in the background, or maybe you have just relaxed on certain specific type of music which you love. But what's actually happening here are these sounds really impacting your body and mind, or they are just setting the vibe so that you relax better. Today we are going to break it down into simple, real way to understand it better, how sound can support your yogic practices and to not complicate it. So let's start with the basics. Sukhman, can you tell us what are binaural beats exactly and how they are helping us?
Yeah, this is actually a great place to start our podcast on because binaural beats, they sound way more complicated or technical than they actually are. I
Mhm,
have talked to a couple of friends about them and they're like, "Wait, hold on. What do you mean by binaural beats?" So it's not something
mhm,
that everyone knows of, and if they do hear about it and they're like they do think that it's more technical than it actually is. So at the simplest level, binaural beats happen when you listen to two slightly different sound frequencies, one in each ear, and that's usually through headphones, through AirPods, and then your brain doesn't hear them separately. So
mhm,
instead, it is going to create a third rhythm internally, and that rhythm that your brain creates, that will influence your mental state. So you listen to two pure tones, one in each ear.
mhm,
So let's say one is 300 hertz and one is 310 hertz. And your brain is going to perceive the difference between the two tones, which is 10 hertz
mhm.
in this example. And it's going to perceive that difference between these tones as a new pulsating beat. So different frequencies are associated with different brainwave states, like relaxation or focus or deep rest. What's important is that this isn't something that you consciously do. So you are not aware consciously of doing that. Your brain basically responds automatically or subconsciously. And the effect of that response is subtle. It's not like flipping a switch. Sorry, it's not like flipping a switch. It's not like going from a clear transition. It's not something that, as I said, your brain does consciously. So it's more like, uh, it's not like turning the light on versus off, but more of like dimming the lights in a room. So it's like a
Mhm.
slower progression. So for people who struggle with, let's say, overthinking or have like a lot of constant chatter in the brain, there's a lot of noise going on, and they just want some sort of like to dim that noise to sort of have a slow transition to a relaxed state. Binaural beats can give the mind something steady and something more relaxed to rest on. They don't um, stop the thoughts completely, but they soften those and they make it easier for you to be more aware of your surroundings, to be more present, but in a more relaxed, restful state.
Okay, so basically the beats are creating a new wavelength, let's say, in which makes you relax in a
Yes.
better way, but slowly you can get into this state. And can you tell us more about how they can pair with yoga specifically and how it will impact the yogic practices? And maybe it's different, probably. Obviously, I think that it should be different than the normal music which people use for yogic practices. So this is something like a next level.
Yeah, binaural beats, I believe, share sort of a complementary relationship with yoga because yoga
Mhm,
already encourages awareness through through breath work or through movement. And then binaural beats basically layer onto that by gently guiding the mind to where yoga is taking you already. So when the body is moving slowly and your breath is steady, the brain becomes more aware of any subtle cues. So that's where binaural beats can become more effective. So you are already in sort of like that slow state, and the brain is going to perceive anything out, and it becomes more receptive, more sort of aware of what's happening in the surrounding. And at that time, when you're listening to binaural beats, that becomes very effective, because if the brain is listening to those beats at that time, it can enter very nicely into that state of rest and relaxation. So a lot of people will usually find that their brain sort of wanders during any slow poses during yoga or during breath work, and that when the brain has become more noisy during that time, when you are trying to calm it down, when you have slower pose during a yoga or you're doing breath work, at that time the beats are going to give the brain a background rhythm to latch onto, and that will help in reducing any mental noise, any mental chatter that the brain would normally wander into. So it's not about focusing on the sound, it's about letting it exist sort of in the background. It is about letting it exist sort of quietly while the body is doing the work. So when combined intentionally, yoga is going to work from outside in, and binaural beats work from the inside out. Together, they create this cohesive experience.
Mhm. So, what I understand from what you've said is that, say, both the things are very good for relaxation, and if we combine both of them, they are going to help us in an overall much better experience in relaxation along with yoga when we use binaural beats. And that brings me to another question: that is the type of yoga that a person is doing matters when you're using this kind of music for relaxation, or it is going to help with almost all the poses which you're doing? If you could throw more light on that.
Sure, I think it does matter what type of yoga you want to pair with binaural beats. Um, you have, for yoga, you have slower practices like yin yoga or restorative yoga. You have meditation, and I believe these type of yoga types do pair best with binaural beats. These practices, slower yoga practices, already emphasize a lot on stillness and internal awareness, and they allow the sound to do its job. So we do want to pair binaural beats. As I said, they share a complementary relationship with yoga. We do want both of these things to initiate restorativeness and relaxation in your mind and in your body, so they pair nicely. But if you have more active yoga, they would not always work as well with binaural beats, because you do not want to create a stimulant body. You do not want body that is already stimulated and already active or hyperactive. Music music can play a role there, but it's yoga practices and your poses that have a really big role in when you want to make it when you want to do it with binaural beats. um,
Mhm.
so the key is basically, I would say, matching the energy of the sound that you hear to the energy of the practice that you're doing. So slower practices, as I said, they will complement really good with binaural beats that are already relaxing. And when the beats that you hear and the pose that you're practicing, when these two align, the experience will feel smoother instead of sort of like stimulating or distracting.
And would you recommend using headphones while practicing yoga, or we should play it loud like normal music playing on a system?
For binaural beats, I would say definitely headphones are essential instead of
Mhm.
playing the music out in the loud. And that is rooted in how binaural beats work. As I told you, binaural beats are hearing one frequency in one ear and hearing another frequency in
Yeah.
your second ear. So if
Mhm.
you are playing it out loud without the headphones, the two frequencies are going to mix in the air instead of in your brain. So the effect is going to disappear. That's why headphones create a more sort of comprehensive, immersive, inward experience where you can kind of dictate that one type of frequency goes into one ear and the other goes into another ear, and it doesn't get mixed. Um, so it really, yeah, that's why I would say headphones are essential, definitely, than playing out music out loud.
Mhm. Yeah, if we don't mix it in, I mean, if it is just mixed before you hear it, then it loses its impact. I would understand that way. And what is the biggest mistake people make while mixing yoga with music or with binaural beats in general? What have come across?
I would say the biggest mistake is overstimulation. If they
Mhm.
have sort of, let's say, too many layers, you are listening to music and add beats onto that, plus guided cues to practice the yoga, and then also in your mind you're always thinking, oh, is it working? Are you getting into a state of relaxation? Is it working? Are you doing what you're supposed to do? And then also, am I doing the right pose? And is it having the effect that everyone is supposed to have? Or am I doing it wrong? Am I being too stressful about it? So it's like if you're overstimulating your brain during that period, that is going to be counterproductive. So it can pull you, these all overstimulating chatter in your brain, it can pull you out of your practice. And and instead of trying to get deeper into it and trying to get into that moment of calm, you are actually pulled out of it and you enter this moment of stress. So we do not want that. We do not want to be overwhelmed by everything. And the fix to all of this is going to be simplicity. So to make all of this simple, you pick one soundscape, you keep the volume low. You don't want it to be too distracting, too loud, and you let your breath stay louder than the music. If at any point the sound is becoming distracting, that should be your cue to change it, to turn it off. You don't want the sound to distract you. You want it to guide your brain deeper into a restorative space, but not out of it. So the body will always, and your, as I said, it complements your body poses as well. So you want your pose and your sound to not be distracting, but in actual complementing both each other and letting your brain and your body enter into sort of a relaxed, restful state.
Okay. So what I understand from our conversation is that the main aim is to relax. So obviously, we should not push it too hard, and we
Yes.
should be also definitely with binaural beats. We should be using headphones or earpods so that you get the two different frequencies in each of the ear, and then the brain processes it, takes you into a deeper stage of relaxation, takes you deeper. And with yoga, with breathing, you're practicing and you are getting even better with your relaxation. So they are going to complement each other. So that's our take on yoga, music, and binaural beats. Whether you're practicing in silence with a playlist or with headphones on, or you are having binaural beats running in the background, the goal is always the same. You want to feel more relaxed, more present in the very moment, connected to your body, and feeling the sensations which you're getting. Because your body will itself tell you what is going on, if it's working or it's not working. You should not be thinking about it. It should let it come to you on its own. Sound is just another tool, not a requirement. And if you continue practicing what you're practicing and you add binaural beats to it, definitely you're going to get additional benefits from that. But the way to do it is to go slow, to let your body give the feedback. And if it is supporting your practice, amazing. If it's not supporting, then it's also okay. You just should let it settle down. You should try it. You can try different beats. There are different frequencies. They are coming in different uh, frequencies for different kind of options which you're searching for. Some are for relaxation, some are for better concentration, some are for the chakra healing. So once you get into that, you will definitely be able to find more and more of that. We have uploaded a lot of those beats on our channel. They are very long videos. You can let them play on your headphones. You'll try them, and you can try different type of beats so that you come up with the one which works the best for you. It's about all about trying. And thanks, Sukhman, for being our guest today, and thanks for listening to us. And we hope this way we'll have given you new ideas to implement with your new yogic practices. Until next time, take care, breathe easy, and we will talk soon. Have a great time. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being with us.